Well, Jeffrey, good morning, dude. What's going on?
Good morning, B. Well, you can kind of see it's oh my gosh, it's another overcast day here. We might
Wow.
get a little rain.
Huh.
But
Yeah.
it's it looks, again, I've said this before, it looks like it might be shifting. We're going to hope so. But it is what it is, but I'm still having a ball here at Weston. It's
That's
just
great.
great.
That's
And
cool.
Five people come out last night for a drill session and a little education. It was good. Then we all piled back into the clubhouse and had a little wine and beer.
Nothing wrong with that.
And a good time was had by all.
Yeah, good. Good for you. Good. Well, listen, guys. Hey, thanks for joining us on another episode of What's the Right Shot? Let's try gold ball hunting and at the podcast. And Jeff, before we get started today, and I know you got something on your mind you want to chat about, Jeff and I are continuing to offer a complimentary private 10-minute coaching call. As long as you bring that one thing in your game right now that maybe is a little thorn in the side you just can't quite figure out, we would like to help get you on the path to get that thing resolved. The way to do that, go over to goldballhunting.com, drop in a first name, email address, click the button, and you will just happen to get immediate access to our online calendar scheduler where you can choose a date and time that works best for you. If you're already on our email list, well, then you know the drill. We've got a link there on every email you receive from us that'll take you to that calendar scheduler. So, Jeff, what's up today, man?
Well, we chatted. For me, was it late last night? I don't know what time it was.
I think it was pretty late. Yeah.
I got no idea. We have a big party today of a 300 people graduation party. So I've been kind of, besides doing the tennis duties, all the other things, which is great. I mean, I love it. But I'm not sure when I'm going to sleep and when I'm waking up anymore right now. So
well,
anyway.
especially when I'm calling you late at night and go, hey, dude, we got to do some recordings here for the
we got to do something
for the podcast.
So anyway, my question is, or it's not even a question. It's just, you had an interesting match yesterday, and it's really like, kind of tell the story. Like, you started out a certain way and then because this is the stuff I think that is the most important on the journey here when we're talking to, the gold ballers out there, the guys and gals that listen, is that this is, again, boots on the ground. This is what happened in my match, Jeff. This is where I was headed. I had to pull up at some point and renegotiate my thought process and then do something else and see if that was going to work. And then, what's the, game plan Z after I work through A through Y, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, so share the story yesterday. You had a match. It was a lengthy match.
So,
right?
What was the 3-setter? So yesterday, I'm here in Irvine, California. It's 65 and 70 National Hard Court singles to doubles, Racket Club of Irvine, and seeded 3 in the singles, and I'd navigated my way to the semifinals. Had a tough quarterfinal match with a guy, almost 3 hours, but kind of worked my way through that. That was a little trickier than yesterday because my opponent in the quarters was, man, I mean, he was deploying, like you said, strategies A through Z.
Right.
In terms of he would serve and volley sometimes, and then he'd hit a big bomber first serve and stay back, and then he'd hit a little sitter second serve, and God, there he is up at net. And so for me, it was more of, in that match, was just, can you just stay calm? Can you just stay cool and collected and not overreact to the fact that that he and I were breaking each other like, I mean, I don't remember holding serve twice in a row. I mean,
wow.
I'm sure I did, but I don't, It just felt like, we were just breaking each other like crazy. So it was really kind of mentally one of those matches where, as you and I have been talking off the recording the last few days, is bringing your Kawhi Leonard to the match and just not reacting, just no drama.
Gotta get a little stoic.
You got to get a little Seneca going on.
Yeah.
So, but yesterday's match was against a guy, the number one seed, guy I'd never beaten before. Played him 3 times. Each time had been close. The last 2 had been 3 sets, but he just kind of ran away with it in the 3rd set each time. And based on all of the recordings that we've done, all the episodes we've done, one of the common themes has been to, lack of a better term, keep the guy out of the corners.
Right.
And if you think about it, not only when you're serving, it's such an instinct for all of us, even for me now still, the instinct is, I want to play the ball away from him.
Right.
And I just said, look, I've never beaten this guy, so maybe we should try something different. And so I just said, well, let's test the gold ball hunting playbook,
Right.
which by the way, we got to finish that thing up.
Yes, we do. Apologies to everybody at this point, right? But it's coming.
It's coming. So, Jeff, I just had no other plan than I'm going to serve right at his body. And unless I get a fat sitter short in the court, I'm playing every ball out of the corners. I didn't want him, and he's got a big forehand, and he can unload on this backhand. He's got a beautiful topper, one-handed backhand. And so I decided, you know what, I'm going to let him play. But I'm going to let him play not from the corners, because at this age, I can't spank a guy to the corners and put him under a ton of pressure from the baseline anyway. So let's make him play from the middle of the court. And sure enough, I mean, he missed lots of returns of serve. I just served the body, and the ball just did not come back.
Yeah.
And so I was getting a few free points now and then that way. And then, and so I ended up winning the first set 6-3. And then, sure enough, the guy gets hot, and I'm playing balls up the middle, and he's hitting dingers. And I'm going, and it was one of those moments where you kind of go, well, maybe this is no longer working. I got to do something different. So, but there was that one voice that said, no, just stick to the plan, because if he can hit dingers from the middle of the court, as he wasn't before, but he can do it now, well, it must mean that maybe it's just a little streak he's going through.
Right.
And if he could do it all the time, he would have been doing it all the time.
He would have been doing it. And, the other thing sometimes, too, is he going to get greedy?
Well,
once you lay down a few, like, biggies, and we all have this, all of a sudden we can stray a little bit and kind of go, I'm just going to go big now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we can almost hit your way out of your rhythm, because now you're not in that balanced place of focus and rhythm and hitting and all that, So anyway.
Well, and that's his mindset. His mindset is to take control of the point with a big, heavy ball, and his big heavies go to the corners. The one thing I felt yesterday, and then eventually he wins the second set 6-2. And then at 2-love, I ended up breaking him the first game of the third, hold serve, and I'm about to break him in the third game, and all of a sudden, I think it's, it's deuce, play a point, I win the point, and now I got break point. And I do your thing where I just turn around and I just, put my back to the court, where, I've just totally, all right, I played a nice shot there, great, it's over. And I turn around, I look, and he's limping. And I'm going, what? We just played like a little easy point there, and and he's limping around, and he's kind of rubbing his right hip, and maybe it was his left hip, I can't remember. And then the next point we play, and I play a deep ball up the middle. He's backing up, and all of a sudden it's like his pelvis just kind of collapsed, and the guy almost fell over. I mean, it was not a good look at all. And and so now I've broken him. I'm serving at 3-love, and I just, then there was the thought of, well, now do I change, because the guy obviously looks hurt and he's not as mobile as he was.
Yeah.
And but their voice just said, if you do that, it could be the dumbest thing you've ever done.
Jeff will never answer a phone call from you again.
Right. So I just stayed the course, ended up winning 6-1 in the third, and no question that he was physically impaired from 2-0, actually from 3-0. But the one thing I wanted to say that really I thought was an asset for me was two things. Number one, sticking to the game plan, just sticking to it, even through those times of, man, there's going to be some problems where, that second set, the guy was just in fuego, and I could have just gone, well, let's can plan A and let's do something else. I didn't do that. So I stuck to the plan the whole time. But the other thing, Jeff, I felt so good yesterday with my movement. I mean, I just felt like I could run down almost everything and just kind of worst case, just throw up a lob from, way out wide and buy some time and get back in and
make the guy touch the ball again. Heck of an idea.
Yeah. So it was a big win for me. So I got the finals late this morning. And playing the great Brian Chaney and he's done well. He's come through. I think he had 1 3-setter in the quarters.
Yeah.
Kind of like everybody else. But, for me, it's he's been sort of that guy in my age group where it can now kind of get in your head that, can you actually beat this guy? And so the thought has to be, well, of course you can. You have to. It's almost like you have to forget the record. And I beat him last year indoors. He was definitely he was recovering. I don't know if it was surgery or something, but he didn't move very well, and so I think I drop shotted 2 out of every 3 shots and apologized profusely at the end of the match when it was 2-0. And I mean, it's like playing. And I'll never forget it. He says, "Now, Brent," before I put it in my hand, I said, "Now, Brent, if you know Brian Chaney, you know what I'm talking about." It's like he's out of tension, and he's standing there. He said, "Now, 2 things. Number one, I discovered some shots I didn't know. In fact, the shot that you saw so much when I lost him in January, from that little middle of the court in there. So, and that was a good thing. And the other thing is, it's very difficult to play against someone who's injured, and you did a marvelous job with that today. Congratulations." And I just thought, wow, this is the greatest guy of all time right here. So anyway, today's going to be a different day. He's recovered, which is a great thing for the rest of us to have him back, because he's really kind of the target for everybody that we're all trying to see what we can do against.
Those guys, make everybody else better.
I agree.
You got to have those guys in the mix, and when they're not there, there's a little bit of a void, and like is somebody going to step into that role or not, or is it coming back, and all that thing. Who's gonna rise to the occasion? Is there going to be somebody new jump in who hasn't been playing for a while, and now they're back because their life situation changed. Now they get to jump back in. They've been training for a year, and all of a sudden they come on the scene.
Right.
And it's like, great.
Yeah.
So
well,
anyway.
this and plus this guy is like ooey gooey, the nicest guy in the history of humans. So which is cool too. So anyway, and like it's win or lose. I'm feeling just blessed. I'm feeling lucky and there were a couple times yesterday, and there were a couple times in the day before where the match was tight, and I'm just going, you know what? This is just tennis. This is not. Right. I mean, I'm not in the Navy, and I'm not in the Navy over there on some destroyer in the in the coast off Iran or somewhere like that. Come on, man. This is just frickin' tennis. Enjoy it, and if you don't get the W today, what's going to happen? Nothing.
See you next week.
That's right. So. Anyway, cool. I think the bottom line to answer your question is that for me it's the strategy of keeping the ball out of the corners.
Yeah.
Unless you've got a like a no-brainer where you're almost inside the service line, And I know what I also want to do. I played a lot of approach shots yesterday right up the frickin' middle.
Awesome.
Right up the middle. And you know what it yielded was, and he could, like I said, whether it's forehand or backhand, man, he would sting it. But it gave me, because he would have to back up to gather himself, drop volley central off the next shot. I mean, so anyway.
Yeah. So, and just to add one little thing there, and then we got to wrap this up because I can hear my phone ringing.
Okay. Good.
Is it takes, you've got to override some things to approach up the center. It's not the natural instinct. We've all been trained to slide that thing down the line, roll it, linear, heavy roll, roll it into the corner, one of the corners. But to go right up the center is not the instinctual thing, because we've all trained the opposite.
Right.
And so I know that it took some mental discipline on your part to do it, even though the instinct is to maybe hit that little backhand, little carve that fades out into the deuce side, the deuce corner, right? But no, take it down the center, and you got to override that. So it does take that extra discipline in your thought process to make yourself do it.
Yeah, and I think if you hit a decent, I mean, it can't be short, obviously, and it's got to have a little bite to it. But if it goes up the middle, and the guy backs up, first of all, he's creating worse geometry for himself, even if he takes only a step or two back. And my thought there is that whatever he gives me, unless it's up high, I'm going to drop it, just because it doesn't have to be great. Especially if he dings it with some pace. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
It gets to you too fast.
Yes. Yes, it does, thankfully. So, all right, Jeff. Well, listen, man, good question today. Thanks. Hey, listen, guys, again, if you're interested, free, private, 10-minute coaching call. What could be wrong with that, right? 3 of us, we get on the phone. We don't record it, so the conversation does not get distributed out there. But we'd love to get you on a call for 10 minutes. Just got to bring that one thing in your game right now that maybe is a little problematic. Goldballhunting.com, first name, email address, click the button and you get immediate access to our online calendar. Jeffrey, I know the phone is ringing. You're just chomping at the bit to pick it up. What do we want the fine folks to do right now?
Sorry.
Yeah.
I got 300 of my closest friends showing up here in a bit, right?
That's right.
Like us, share us, please subscribe. Let us know what you think down below.
Guys, get out there today, wherever you are. Help someone else have a spectacular day. Jeff will do this again tomorrow.
Can't wait.